Hi everyone, welcome. FPL Matt Day here, and I'm back with the latest news and my thoughts and reaction to FPL Game Week 8. Another very big game week. Lots of wildcards were activated, lots of really good players performing, some players underperforming as well. But we're now in an international break, so it gives us a couple of weeks to reflect on our teams, on our decisions, and our potential moves, especially for those managers that are now looking to wildcard during this international break. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to give this video a like and get your comments in with any questions you have ahead of this international break and game week 9, which isn't for another couple of weeks from here. But look, let's start off. I'm going to go through some of my initial thoughts from game week 8. And also, these aren't just tips that have happened based from game week 8. These are also thoughts going into game week 9 as well. So my first one is, if you are planning to wildcard, ready for game week 9 onwards, and you haven't activated the wildcard, do it as soon as possible. We saw, and I was a wildcarder before game week 8, we saw how volatile the price rises were. From the day I activated, a couple of days later, a lot of the prices went up by 0.1. By the end of the week, those same players had gone up 0.1 again. I think I gained about £1 million in value just from wildcarding early. So get it done now, especially if you want to do it from 9 onwards. If you don't, and you're still waiting another few more game weeks for the next set of fixture swings, then don't worry. But if you are definitely on a wildcard for game week 9, activate that one now. My next thought is, if you are on that wildcard, or if you're considering transferring out Erling Haaland for game week 9, I know he blanked in game week 8 and he was pretty anonymous throughout. I still would keep him. They play Brighton at home. Brighton are conceding plenty of chances. They're conceding goals. They're not keeping clean sheets. This game has goals written all over it, and Haaland will be involved, in my opinion. I can see him grabbing a couple of goals in that game. So keep him, and I think he's captain worthy in game week 9. My next thought and tip is, if you are on that wild card, or if you have the money in your midfield, sign Salah. He had a very low number of chances in the game against Brighton, which doesn't sound great. And I don't normally like to use XG, but he had a very low expected goals, and he's still come out with 2 returns, and he's got great fixtures. And what we know about Salah is he performs at Anfield, and Liverpool have had a lot of away games so far, and they're expected to now play at Anfield and get results against the likes of Everton, Nottingham Forest. Also got Luton away in there as well. So for me, get Salah in on your wildcards. My next tip is, and it's great to have this tip as I'm a Spurs fan, is target James Maddison. I know I've said this all the way from the early game weeks, but you haven't got him yet, target him. He's potentially a season keeper right now. He's looking so good, making assists, consistent assists. I feel like there's a huge score coming from James Maddison in the next few game weeks. And it could be the home fixture coming up in game week 9 against Fulham, as long as he doesn't get injured on international break. And Spurs, also like Liverpool, plenty of home games coming up because I've had a lot of away games early on. And another one from Tottenham is Pedro Porro. Brilliant on the weekend going forward. Missed a great chance. Had a shot on the outside of his boot. That was very close. He's got a goal and a big score coming in. So if you're looking between him and Udogie, pick Porro. My next thoughts coming out from the game week and leading into the next few game weeks is Villa's fixtures look good. Watkins is looking really sharp for Aston Villa. He's getting assists most weeks. He's also chipping in with goals. He's the sort of player on any given week, especially at Villa Park, can get an absolutely massive score, similar to what you saw at Brighton. And you don't want to miss out on any more big Ollie Watkins scores from here on. So target Villa, Watkins and Diaby, Matt Cash, Digne, who Digne might lose his place once Moreno's back, but at the moment he's still in there. And Martinez as well, looking good in goal for Aston Villa. My next thought was Pedro Neto. Looked absolutely brilliant again for Wolves. He got a return, should have scored a goal. He's got Bournemouth away next. He's looking like a fixture-proof player right now. It doesn't matter who he plays in the fixtures. He's just looking absolutely brilliant for Wolves in that front three. Taking players on. He's quick. Got an eye for goal. He's getting assists. So target Pedro Neto if you need that cheap midfielder, but he's also getting points. And my last thought is Arsenal beating Manchester City Do we look to continue with their players and target their players? Saka's injured. What do we do? For me, keep eyes on Martinelli. He got the goal, albeit it almost looked like an own goal, to be honest, but they've given him the goal. But can he now come back into the fold? We saw how good he was in FPL last season. His price went down with his injury, but he's someone, I know we're all thinking we've got to get Saka back in for game week 10 against Sheffield United and Burnley in game week 12, I think it is, that Arsenal have, and these types of fixtures. But potentially Martinelli, he could be that cheap alternative, and you just never know. Penalties could rotate. Saka's already given away a few penalties this season already to other players, and Martinelli is someone that we know has a big eye for goal. So keep an eye on Martinelli in our teams. But there it is. It was just a quick video of my latest FPL thoughts and some news. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give this video a like, and as I mentioned before, please subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll leave it there. I'm FPL Matt Day. Stay tuned on the channel for plenty of shorts, a wildcard draft, and other content up all the way up until game week 9 in the next one, and enjoy the international break.